Splendid. Welcome back, everybody, to Horizon Forbidden West. As promised, I made a little fast travel. And now we're right back, main entrance, to our base. Not only bringing Poseidon home, but also saying hello to everybody else. Like, what did I miss? How's the sitch, guys? Ooh, there are plants. You said there would be more plants, and there are clearly more plants. Hi!
That's what the data says.
I'm telling you, it's a drink.
Aloy, you're back. Is something on your mind?
I don't know, is
Maybe.
something on your mind? Oh.
It's about the Tenakth rebels and the Fearsome.
Really? Well, that doesn't sound good. Let me know how I can help.
I discovered an Oseram militant group. They call themselves the Sons of Prometheus. It looks like they're the ones overriding machines for the Tenakth rebels.
I thought that was something only you could do.
They're familiar with ancient tech, and they're as anti-Karja as it gets.
So, last year we stopped Durval and his cronies from blowing up Meridian in retribution for the Red Raids. And now you're telling me we have another group of Oseram trying to wipe out the Karja with an army of machines and bloodthirsty Tenakth?
Pretty much.
Oh, well, that's just great!
Oh.
Is there any way you can help me find out who they are? Anything to track them down and stop them?
Yeah, I can send out some messages from Chainscrape. Get in touch with my contacts in the claim, see what I can find out.
I'd appreciate that.
Alright.
Oh, and I'll let you know if I find out anything more about the Sons of Prometheus.
Same here.
Oh. I can always count on
The
you.
old ones used their focuses to send all kinds of messages back in the day.
All over the world, too. Anytime they wanted.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd like that. I wouldn't want my Aunt Alga knowing she could just talk to me every second of the day. My ears would pop off.
Aloy, you're back. How's the search going?
Still working on it.
Anything here? No, okay.
I should head out.
I'll go back to my training.
Just want to make sure. Maybe I have to talk to Gaia first, and then I have more options here, but you know, I don't mind doing it twice. Uh-huh. Hello, Zoe.
You're back.
And
I
also
better
more
head
shows.
out.
I wish you well.
It's really a little bit like a Mass Effect when you're running around with Commander Shepard and you're talking to your crewmates, hoping there is a new dialogue option, and then there is nothing, and then you just, I should go. After you just arrived and started the conversation. Very awkward. It's good to know it's also possible in other games. Okay, how about you, buddy? Okay, that's how I always say hello. Never
I
mind.
better head out.
Be vigilant out there.
Goody. No long conversation this time, at least not before I did what I was actually here for, so let's do what I'm actually here for. Alright, can I
Welcome back,
actually?
Aloy.
Thank you.
I see you have recovered Poseidon.
Yeah, first things first.
Okay, data module's in.
Are you the new module? Is it work?
An excellent choice.
Aloy, can you come downstairs? Beta has something you need to hear.
Oh right, I totally forgot about her.
I'll be right down.
Aloy, I have managed to unlock additional rooms within the facility.
Because she has the
Got it.
exclamation
Hey,
mark
Gaia.
over her head,
I'm
I would
back.
like to talk to her a little bit.
So I see what is on your mind.
What is in your mind? Why do you have an exclamation mark over your head?
So, I guess Beta's here to stay. I gave her a focus. Told her to talk to you to see if she can help. She's Not what I expected.
What were you expecting?
I don't know. Someone more helpful, I guess. And less pessimistic.
It is true she overestimated our progress. However, it is also worth noting that her confidence in your abilities emboldened her to escape the Zeniths.
I guess so.
Give her time. She may yet come around.
Apparently she has something new for us. I will check out in a second.
So there's a few people here now, and they're learning. All about you, the ancient world. Almost like what was supposed to happen before Apollo was purged.
Turd!
Yes. While the loss of the Apollo database was catastrophic, there is still much that can be gleaned from the data you have uncovered. For instance, Varl has been reviewing the last recorded entries from those who perished during the Pharaoh Plague. Hearing their hopes and fears made him quite somber.
Anything I should be worried about?
I do not believe so. I have elected not to intervene, to allow him to process this on his own terms.
Maybe, I can maybe talk to him now about that. I'm not sure if I should.
There was an ancient tank embedded in the bulwark, buried under a bunch of boulders. Any idea how it got there?
During the Pharaoh Plague, the US military resumed the use of human combatants, as automated machinery was unreliable. It is possible the vehicle was part of a pre-automated war fleet.
So they fought against the Pharaoh machines in the valley, until the mountain was blasted apart and buried them.
Is there more? Apparently there's more.
When I dove down into Vegas, I found data about the man who built the dome over the city, Stanley Chen. It turns out he was a member of Far Zenith. But if he loved Vegas so much, why did he abandon it? Why not try to save it?
The Zeniths, at their core, have proven to be exceptional survivalists. Faced with overwhelming odds of extinction, they chose to flee.
Even still, what he achieved. Water to the wasteland, an entire city brought back to life. 1,000 years later, the whole place was still on standby, just waiting for someone to come along and wake it up. When we were at the facility where we found Beta, there were records that said Far Zenith were researching embryogenesis. I know they traded their ectogenic chambers to Zero Dawn, but why were they researching it in the first place?
At this point, we can only speculate. Perhaps at one time they meant the Odyssey to be a colony ship, necessitating such technology. As their goals evolved over time, so did their areas of research.
So they got more selfish as the risks of staying on Earth kept rising.
Apparently we didn't talk about this stuff yet. I mean, it's not grayed out, so,
So, Project
So?
Zero Dawn. The greatest minds in the world, all working to build the terraforming system while the Pharaoh Plague devoured the planet. What was it like?
Personnel worked in rotations, at all hours of the day. Resources and technology were secured from across the world. Within a month of the project's conception, I was launched and began my education. Elizabeth encouraged me to spend time with the rest of the Zero Dawn staff. She said it was important to experience many personalities and perspectives to aid in my emotional development.
What were they like?
Scared, hopeful, determined. They were hurtling toward technological achievements on a scale never before attempted. I owe everything to their dedication.
Gaia? What was Elizabeth like?
Her presence is interwoven with my memories. The moment I came online, she was there. We exchanged greetings, names, then set to our task. It was the first of many conversations. I enjoyed being in her company, listening to her stories. She was my creator, my guide.
Your friend.
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened to learn of her fate. Though I am glad she made it home. I deeply wish she did not have to be alone.
She was okay with that. She gave all of herself. The only one who could. Thanks, Gaia.
Oh. I thought we already asked about this stuff. Apparently we didn't.
Beta believes the Zeniths want to use the terraforming system to wipe out life on Earth.
Maybe because we have new
Start
information
over.
now.
So they can build it how they want.
Further supporting our hypothesis.
But why? Given their technology, they could wipe out the tribes of the world by easier means. And if they're the same people who left Earth 1,000 years ago, wouldn't they want the biosphere to be as it was?
It is likely they adjusted to different planetary conditions in their colony on Sirius. They may be trying to recreate that environment here.
Turning Earth into a new Sirius. Their own personal playground.
Because they suck.
So the Zeniths are the same people who left Earth.
That's still crazy
Physically
to me.
immortal. How'd they figure it out?
From what we know of Far Zenith, it is plausible that prominent geneticists and engineers were offered a place aboard the Odyssey in exchange for their expertise. Given enough time, technology, and resources, any challenge can be overcome.
Even immortality? I don't
Minerva
know.
eventually generated the deactivation codes for the Pharaoh Plague.
Exactly.
The Zeniths. Gerard, Eric, Tilda, Verbena. Beta said they were some of the most powerful people on Earth. Do you know anything about them?
Unfortunately, no. My personal database is limited to those who worked on Zero Dawn.
That makes sense.
Additionally, it appears Far Zenith was quite secretive about their members.
Yeah,
Only
that's
one,
the worst.
Oswald Dahlgard, was ever publicly known.
Right. He was the spokesperson back at their old launch facility.
What we can conclude from your and Beta's experiences is that the Zeniths are ruthless in pursuit of their goal. To protect life on Earth, they must be stopped.
Yeah, I think we all understood that. The signal and others.
The extinction signal didn't just wake Hades. It made every subordinate function self-aware. Why?
I have wondered this myself. So far as I can tell, Hades was the sole target, and the partial sentience imparted to other subordinate functions was incidental.
A signal that precise would require thorough knowledge of the system. How could the Zeniths know that?
From the records on your focus, it appears Far Zenith had an informant during the development of Zero Dawn.
Hank Shaw. He was supposed to steal a copy of the system for Far Zenith, but Elizabeth and Travis Tate caught him first.
Yes. It is likely Far Zenith acquired knowledge on the systems designed through him, despite his failure.
So from what Beta told me, I guess we can assume the Zenith's technology is powerful in all sorts of ways, right?
Yes. As your encounters with them amply demonstrate, they appear to make extensive use of robotic servitors. Further, they seem to be equipped with some kind of protective energy field that shields them from harm.
They seemed indestructible, but that weapon the rebels used stripped their shield somehow.
Throughout history, every defensive technology has eventually been defeated by an offensive counterpart. While we lack the anti-shielding weapon, were I to absorb Hephaestus and utilize it to create a large force of combat machines, no shielding could withstand such an assault indefinitely.
So there's hope.
Always.
Always questions about subordinate functions? Sure.
The missing subordinate functions. What can you tell me about them?
Artemis rewilded the Earth with a variety of animal species. Eleuthia was responsible for gestating, nurturing, and acculturating a new generation of human beings. Apollo was tasked with preserving, organizing, and disseminating vast archives of human knowledge and cultural achievements. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo data was purged on the 2nd of February, 2066, by order of Ted Farrow.
Never forgot.
Pharaoh, huh? I really hate that guy.
I agree.
Understandable.
I really have the feeling we had
He
this
appears to have
conversation.
been pathologically narcissistic, impulsive, and unstable.
All 3 of the missing functions have already served their purpose, or were prevented from doing so. Do you still need them?
Restoring their remaining elements would increase my heuristic processing density, empowering my overall function. Unfortunately, as we now know they are in the possession of Far Zenith,
Okay.
attaining them in the short term is very likely impossible.
I guess our best shot at recovering them is by taking over the Zenith base. But we'll need Hephaestus and a bunch of combat machines to do that.
Correct.
What can you tell me about Demeter?
Demeter sows, fertilizes, and tends to plant life.
So once I bring it back, all the blight out there will start to get better.
Is the meter the
While
last
permanent
one?
restoration requires the abilities of Hephaestus, I may be able to improve conditions in the region for a while. However, a word of warning. Like Ether and Poseidon, Demeter's response to my query was highly irregular. Alone and frightened, it may have taken measures to assure its security.
It's
Okay.
okay.
I'll keep my guard up.
I was expecting that.
Were you able to make use of Poseidon?
Yes. Many rivers, streams, and lakes associated with the regional watershed have been detoxified. As a result, red algae growth levels have seen a marked decline. According to my data, however, it appears a localized occurrence of red algae continues to persist near the coast.
Maybe I'll look into it when I can.
It's my first trip. Something else?
So Poseidon spent the last 20 years hiding out in Las Vegas. From the data I found, it seems the city had an advanced water reclamation system. Is that why Poseidon went there?
Most likely. In an effort to protect itself, Poseidon sought out a safe harbor where it could access water supply functions. There, buried and encased in a protective dome, it could guard against any threats.
Like 3 Oseram showmen?
I suspect that was not the first time it felt the need to repel trespassers.
You mentioned that the superstorms have subsided. Is that Ether at work?
Yes. Thanks to Ether's capabilities, weather patterns in the local region should mostly stabilize for the time being.
That'll be a relief for the Tenakth. One of their villages is still recovering after a mudslide caused the whole place to flood.
I will continue to stabilize the atmosphere for as long as I can.
And?
Why did Ether take up residence in an ancient war museum?
As with the other subordinate functions, Ether needed to install itself on a processor with adequate storage and power. The one in the museum appears to have been sufficient, given that the holographic displays were still active.
So Ether was assured it could stay for as long as it needed to.
Correct. Though it is curious that it chose a place surrounded with the ancient ruins of aircraft.
Maybe it also felt at home there.
Oh. Maybe.
So, once Hephaestus has been recovered and merged, you'll regain the capacity to mass-produce machines at cauldrons around the world.
Yes, and to program their behavioral routines, or even control them directly.
So you could build an army of machines. Attack the Zeniths and take them out.
It is in my nature to take any and all necessary steps to preserve life on Earth, human life above all. So yes, once I have been empowered with the capacities of Hephaestus, I could design, build, and command such an army. Given the nature of the Far Zenith threat, Doing so may be our only option. I must admit, however, that I have misgivings about using such technology to kill, no matter how aggressive the enemy.
That's good. It means you have a conscience. As Elizabeth intended.
Indeed.
Unfortunately, I'm afraid they will not give us a choice, so... time to go!
I'll be off.
Farewell, for now.
More talking with Bader. I'm not sure what she has for us. Talk to Varl. Okay, actually, I don't have to talk to Varl. Oh, no. Oh, we'll check it out later. So, what do we have?
Anybody seen one of my machine strike pieces around?
I don't think that door had power before, but... looks like it's malfunctioning.
I'm not sure what door were you talking about. Let me talk to Beta first, and then we can check out the area. Which
Hi! Happy birthday, Isaac! Daddy sure does love his little big man.
She found that recording from the data on your focus. She's been watching it a lot. I think it helps calm her.
That's good. You have this in common, I guess.
You know, I used to watch this a lot too. Whenever I wanted to take my mind off things.
Daddy sure does love his little big...
But there's something you need to tell me?
While you were gone, I came down here to check on her. Then we started talking. Right, Beta? She's been thinking about how to capture Hephaestus, studying the data Gaia gave her. But we started talking about some other stuff. You know, just getting to know each other, right? And then she told me that one of the Zeniths might be different from the others.
Tilda. You saw her at the Hades Proving Lab.
Go on.
On the way to Earth, the Zeniths never showed their faces. My servitor caretaker referred to them as my benefactors, and promised I'd meet them someday, when I had learned enough.
And then?
One day, a data channel opened in my training interface. In it, Tilda was waiting for me. In a virtual replica of a house on a cliff, overlooking the ocean. It was beautiful. She showed me paintings, books, media files. We met there in secret many times. But a few months later, it stopped.
Can you tell us why, Beta?
I found some data about Tilda at the Hades Proving Lab. I think she was the liaison between Far Zenith and Zero Dawn. She knew Elizabeth Sobek, that's for sure.
Maybe that's why she reached out to you?
What else can you tell us about Tilda?
She liked to talk about her paintings.
What about herself? Did she ever talk about her life on Earth, how she joined the Zeniths, something like that?
She never said much about herself, and she hated it when I asked too many questions. But I think, back on Earth, she was an expert programmer, given that she built a data channel the other Zeniths couldn't detect.
Is there anything else about her that we might be able to use to our advantage?
She was the first real person who ever bothered to speak to me. I wasn't really assessing her for strengths and weaknesses.
I'm just asking. I get it, but I'm just asking.
You said that Tilda reached out to you using a data channel?
It appeared in my training interface as another assignment. When I opened it, there were a series of intermittent glitches. I realized they formed a transpositional cipher. Instructions on how to open up a new virtual space. When I entered it, my training interface disappeared. Instead of the usual holographic teachers and files, I was in a perfect recreation of her home.
And you're sure the other Zeniths never knew about it?
To them, it looked like I was still in training. Toiling away. Alone.
This is probably why I stopped then. Maybe she got caught. And I told her to stop doing this.
So this secret virtual space looked like a house with an ocean view?
I could see whitecaps and hear waves crashing on rocks below. And there were gulls crying outside. Inside, Tilda had frames that showed off her favorite paintings, changing at intervals to match the light. There was an armchair she liked. She'd sit there and gaze outside while I looked through her things. We spent hours in that house. I never wanted to leave.
You said Tilda showed you paintings and let you access media files?
Every time we met, she showed me a new painting. I think she was Dutch. All of her favorite pieces were from their golden age in the 1600s. Portraits, allegories, ships at sea. She had so many.
They didn't interest you?
I liked her media portal. It had so much more than my training interface. Clips, shows, holos. My favorite was this one called Second Time Around, about a family whose kid comes back after disappearing during the Hot Zone crisis.
Right, but did this portal have anything about the Zeniths themselves? Anything we could use?
Can you be a little more
Any
sensitive?
information about them was redacted.
She was like actually opening up and lighting up a little. I know we have some time pressure here, but could you be a little nicer to her? She's cloney. Our clone sister. She got you off, question mark.
So Tilda set up a secret virtual space where she could talk to you, a house on a cliff. Then later, she cut you off. But other than the fact that Tilda knew Elizabeth, you don't know why she did those things?
I don't! Okay? I thought of every possible reason that would make her leave, but whatever I did wrong, I don't know what it is. When I finally met the others, she ignored me. Acted like the data channel never existed. None of this even matters. Tilda's the same as the others. It won't help us defeat them.
Okay. Let's leave it at that then.
Poor girl.
What's wrong?
I'm trying, Varl. But she is tough to take. I'm out there in the wilds, risking my life every day, and all she can do is hide in there and tell us how hopeless it all is. I'm sorry, she's had a rough time, but she is really not helping right now.
You always seem to be on top of everything, so I sometimes forget about what you've been through. I mean, it wasn't that long ago you were so banged up you couldn't even walk. About that. When I pulled you out of the water back near the proving lab, you were muttering Rost's name. You never talk about him.
We saw him.
But he raised you,
We thought
trained you.
Prowl with him.
You must miss him a lot.
Of course I do. But I don't have time to think about that now. I need to get back out there.
Okay. I'll keep working with Beta. Gaia says she knows a lot about Zero Dawn. And maybe she just needs some time to adjust, and then she can help us with Hephaestus.
Sure. But I won't hold my breath.
See, you both have actually so much in common, not surprisingly, considering that you're both clones of Elizabeth. You two, you and Cloney. One day maybe I will stop calling her that. You and Bader both have some very negative, depressing emotions, and you both are handling in two very different but two absolutely horrible ways. Well, she's drowning in them, and is absolutely not capable of seeing anything positive, anything hope-like right now. You are just entirely ignoring them, trying to shut them down by fighting one rebel and machine after another. But both ways of handling the negative emotions are absolutely not good. Okay, these were my 2 cents. How much time do we have left? Okay, actually, we're at 30 minutes. You were talking about doors. You were talking about malfunctioning doors. I don't know, where the fuck am I here? Is this a way out? Probably. I'm so not sure which door is open now that wasn't open before. Okay, this one is not. This one was like one for Bader. Hi, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt. Just want to make sure it's the right door here. Ah, this one. This is the malfunctioning one. I can pry open. So what do we have in here?
Looks like some kind of maintenance space.
Okay, definitely loot. Loot is always good. Interesting. Ow.
I wonder where this leads.
Yeah, curiosity. Killed the Aloy, hopefully not. Ooh. Some weird angles.
Power cells? Huh.
No idea where you want me to go with it. I just picked one up. Hoping for the best. Huh. Where am I right now?
That did it.
Aloy? A bunch of lights just turned on up here? Was that you?
Potentially.
Yeah, I guess it was.
Oh, that was the door. Yeah, that was the door I wasn't able to open at all. What kind of lights did I turn on? Important lights?
I wonder what it's like.
Okay. Now everyone is something for me. Honestly, this time I talked to you last. Okay, you don't have. You have something as well. Let's talk to Zoe first.
Aloy.
And maybe only Zoe, and then
Hey,
the rest in the next
how's
episode.
everything going?
I am well, but Varl told me Beta's having a hard time adjusting to life here with us. I wish there was something I could do to help.
I'm not sure any of us can.
A tree won't bear fruit in a day. We'll do our best to make her feel welcome.
That's really kind of you guys.
Are you guys training with Erend as well?
If you count trying to stick a spear in his gut as training, then yes.
Are you serious?
Of course not.
Good.
I was going for a couple of broken bones.
I'll be sure.
He called the Utaru leaf grazers. Laughed at the idea of us simple farmers being formidable fighters. Before I knew it, he and I were battling it out in the common room. The man is slow, but he can throw a hammer around. Don't look so worried. We're evenly matched. For now. Next time he's going down like a load of boar dump.
Just try not to kill each other.
Please.
Injuring his pride should be good enough.
Probably.
Is there anything I can help with around here?
Oh, no. We're doing fine.
Are you okay?
You and Varl have been friends for a while.
I like to think so.
I was wondering, what do you know about his mother?
Oh.
That bad, huh?
Why do you want to know?
He's spoken of his sister, Vala, but I noticed he avoids talking about his mother.
She's the war chief of the Nora. Best warrior the tribe's ever known. Tougher than a thunderjaw, but she could be pretty harsh at times.
I see. That must have been hard on him. Thank you for telling me.
I
feel
it's fine
silly not
with
being
me
able to
telling
ask
you.
Varl directly.
I wouldn't worry about it. He's probably afraid Sona will scare you off someday.
I'd like to see her try.
Ha ha ha. You're training.
Found anything else combing through that data?
Varl and I have been looking into the animals of the old world. Apparently there used to be thousands more species roaming around than there are today. Can you imagine that? I'd give anything to see them. Even as holograms. Though I know that without Artemis or Apollo, that may prove difficult. At least I can find comfort in knowing Gaia used many of them as inspiration for her machines. Her memory honors them.
What are you going to learn next?
I'm not sure. I asked Gaia for suggestions, and she brought up data you found on something called a museum? From what I gather, the old ones would store knowledge in them for all to see and learn from, like you've done here for us. Maybe one day more people will be able to use this place to learn the way we have.
That sounds crowded, but nice. The Zeniths did a number on Beta. But she seems to trust Varl.
I still can't believe she told him the Zeniths are immortals. Old ones who cut themselves off from the cycle of life and decay. I've never heard of anything so selfish. To deny our dying bodies to the earth. To doom the life that would bloom in their place.
Damn, that
It's
really
despicable.
strikes the nerve. Alright, good for you
I
to
should
let
get
it
going.
out. But I
Good
should
luck
get going.
on your search.
Thank you! I will not search, but have more conversations. Where is this? We also have to check out this question mark. Okay, this is maybe one of the new rooms. But it is still in the base, right? Yeah, there is a question mark in the base. In the base, we will take a deeper look into, and more conversations, and even more stuff. Ooh. Sorry. But not now, because this is the end of the episode. I really hope you enjoyed it, and you will be back for the next one. I will see you there.